You know why we are having such a hard time grasping what is happening in Palestine right now? Well, from the Israeli side, they are having a hard time because they are not used to this. Generation after generation, it's always the Israeli who kills and the Palestinian get killed. Yeah, Palestinians fight back sometimes, but individually or quite often out of rage and anger. They never really have a military strategy. Palestinians have been waiting for the Arabs to come and liberate them for decades. At the end of the day, they figured that the only one who's going to liberate us is us. So they did what they did. Whether they committed atrocities or didn't, that needs to be investigated and discussed at a later date, especially that we have already discovered that a lot of the things that have been said, like the baby killing and all of that, ended up being a lie. But others are also having a hard time. People who affiliate with the left in the West are struggling with this concept. Why? Simple. Because you know, you like, in fact, you love Palestinians when they are victims. Let's be honest. You love Palestinians when they are victims. You can't imagine Palestinians fighting back and still win your total support and solidarity. It just makes no sense. They have to be subjects of international reports of victimizations. Numbers, figures. 2022 is the most violent year against the Palestinians in the West Bank. 2014 was the most destructive war in the history of wars, and so forth and so on. We like this. It makes us feel comfortable because it allows us to go on media and TV and social media in particular and show pictures of Palestinian victims without feeling that we are really violating any particular rules here. But Palestinians as fighters is problematic. In fact, in earlier wars, we kept referring to the Palestinian rockets that were wholly developed by Palestinians inside Gaza as fireworks. Fireworks. That's kind of dehumanizing in some ways. Yes, they are very primitive, they are homemade after all. But they were the Palestinians' way of saying that we are political agent and we are resisting and we are factors in all of this. But we couldn't see it that way because we insisted that they are victims, and a victim's place is only in being a victim. This is why we are struggling, why we are trying to create separation between Hamas and the Palestinian people. Where do you think Hamas comes from? Mars? Canada? They are Palestinians. They are the outcome of Palestinian suffering, humiliation, and genocide that has been carried out by Israel. They're not aliens in any of this. Like them, dislike them, support them, don't support them, be an Islamist, be a communist. I don't give a rat's ass. It's the reality of it. And they are fighting back. So if you continue to use this kind of language and try to exact from me a condemnation of my people during a time that they are experiencing genocide in Gaza, they are locked into this tiny little landmass of 181 square miles, and they are being destroyed and shelled and killed in every possible way, you're not going to find it. And no, I will not create a separation, and I will not allow you to push me or anyone else into a moral equivalence. Shame on any of us who insist on seeing Palestinians as victims when they are telling us day and night we are not victims. Maybe we are being victimized, but we refuse to shape our political identity entirely around the idea that we are victims and perpetual victims, and we have no right to assert ourselves as a party that is capable of fighting back.